This is the Firstblood B87, and it's a fully clear acrylic keyboard. Stock, this thing is pretty good, and it has a bit of flex. I'd say it's a comfortable amount, and it's not too much. It also sounds pretty good. That's pretty good for stock, and it has this nice acrylic sound signature. Here, I think which key shows it best is the backspace. As you can see, it just kind of has like a little bit of a acrylic ring. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I definitely like it. So in this video, we're going to be keeping the clear look and upgrading it. When we flip the board over, we can see it's completely clear, and we can see the battery on the inside and the little triangular aluminum weight. The board can be connected via USB, Bluetooth, or the dongle that's included, so that's pretty nice. So without further ado, let's open the board up and see what's inside. When we open the board up, we can see that it comes with a polycarbonate plate and some Kailh jellyfish switches. These might be pre-lubed, but I'm not quite sure. They're very smooth stock. We also get the battery and this little piece of silicone that the battery sits on with a little piece of foam. Included is also a daughter board, so that means that your USB port is going to be separate from the actual PCB, which is great, so that you can have flex without worrying about your USB port coming apart. We also get our top case, which is really thick. I mean, the bezels on this are absolutely huge, and the bottom case has really thick acrylic. It is very full, so it's a little hard to see since it's completely clear, but certainly a lot of acrylic there. The board is mounted on gaskets, which are included on the silicone dampener in between the PCB and plate. Now, I'm not really a big fan of silicone because I feel like it really just mutes the board, so I'm going to be taking the silicone dampener out, but that also means that the board is not going to have anything to sit on. So I'm going to take little pieces of foam and hot gluing them to our plate so it sits nicely and just replaces the silicone. Alright guys, as you can see, we now have a piece of foam where our gaskets used to be. So this is just basically some foam that I had lying around. I think a package came in it. I have some firmer foam around the edges so that the board doesn't sink completely, and some squishier foam towards the middle so that it gives the board a nice even flex. Now our next issue, I really want to do the tape mod. However, this board actually has LED lights on the top and bottom, so because the bottom of the case is clear, you can actually see the LEDs through it. So I'm going to be using some clear packing tape and putting it on the bottom of the PCB so that we can still get that nice RGB without the tape covering it. The tape mod is now done. As you can see, there's just a little bit of glimmer on the PCB, and that's actually the packing tape. I also added 2 chunks of foam on both sides of the board to help support it a little bit better, and I know these are going to be visible, but I feel like it's going to be worth it so that the flex experience is just how we want it to be. Remember that little chunk of silicone that the battery was sitting on? Yeah, that actually interferes with the case a lot and really dampens the sound of the board. And I think we're going to have to get rid of it because between that silicone and the foam, it really just kind of takes away from the acrylic sound that comes with the board that I absolutely love. However, this also leaves us a giant gaping hole in our keyboard that we're going to need to fill up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is, because this hole is really round, I'm just going to put coins to fill it up. And after adding 3 dimes and 1 penny, this thing is completely flush. Now our next problem is that battery in there does not look good. And even flipping it around, it just looks kinda, I don't know, not great. So what we're going to do is actually filling up that hole with a little bit of tin foil. Now tin foil is going to look just like the aluminum, but it's going to give it a little bit more shine and, I don't know, make the whole thing look just a little bit better. Now, it's not really going to change the sound, and aluminum foil is a little bit dangerous to put in keyboards because it can cause some sparks with the PCB, so just take note if you are going to do this, but I don't really think it's going to be a huge issue because we have the tape on the back of the PCB. To get the tinfoil fitting in completely flush, what I did is used some hot glue on each corner in order to fill it up and almost act like a little mold. This worked really well. So as you can see, that hot glue filled up those corners really well, and now we've got this little piece of tinfoil that fits absolutely perfect and won't crumple or look bad anytime soon. As you can see, it's just like a little really thin weight. Now, I absolutely love the completely clear look of this keyboard, and to keep fitting that theme, we're going to go with some clear keycaps. These are some milk fog keycaps that I found on Amazon for like really cheap. I think they were maybe 20 bucks, but it really won't matter because they're just clear keycaps. There's really nothing to cheap out on here. So let's put them on.
Alright guys, so as you can see, this keyboard is now 100% done. It looks so clean. I mean, I just love the look. The clear translucent case and everything with it, absolutely amazing. So if I turn it on, this is the moment you've all been waiting for, the RGB. Yeah, this thing has some pretty intense RGB. Now, don't mind that light there, that's just blinking because of the Bluetooth mode. But before we get into the sound test, I do just want to say, subscribe for a banana. Now, without further ado, it is time for a typing test. Here we go.